Hey geeks, what's up? This is the first video I have on my channel. I'm pretty excited about it. This is just kind of an overview of what I see for this channel. I thought a lot about starting a channel to document my geek obsessions. So first and foremost, this is something I'm doing mostly for myself and for a few close friends. And if I pick up viewers, subscribers along the way, all the better. I hope that my passions come through on this channel and that they inspire folks to go out and find the things that you really love and pursue them. And because that's what it's all about. That's a big part of what makes life worth living. As you can see here, we've got my Batman coffee cup, drinking some tea out of it currently. Iron Man cap. So I've collected a number of geeky things like most of you over the years. It's something that I enjoy doing. I like to have things that remind me of the comics that I love, and that's what I want this channel to be about, is covering my comic book obsessions, my movie obsessions, my book obsessions. Like most geeks, I have different fandoms that cover a wide range of things, not just science fiction and fantasy, but I'm also very interested in architecture for some reason. I'm not even sure why, but I always have been. I am not an architect professionally. I am an artist, and architecture and comics influence a lot of my work. So that is one paradigm, I think, that pursuing our geek obsessions can result in this this paradigm where you sort of channel your influences into some creation, whether that be writing or painting or creating a comic book or just blogging or having your own YouTube channel to talk about the things that you like. That's to me, that's what it's all about. So I've been pursuing comic books lately at a rate faster than what I'd ever done in my life. That's probably because I'm older now, and I make more money now as an adult than I did as a kid. But it started when I was a kid. So when I was probably around 7 or 8, I think I saw my first comic book, or held my first comic book in my hands. It was an issue of the Avengers that my brother had. I forget the issue number. I think it was 138 though. I don't know why, but on the cover was Orca, I believe, was the villain, and he was attacking Thor and the Avengers, and it just always stuck in me how massive this supervillain was. And and looking at the cover as a kid, I'm thinking, oh, there's no way all these heroes can defeat a supervillain this big. And I was just entranced by that cover. It stuck with me all those years, and then of course reading it blew my mind. I was probably too young, didn't really know what was going on, but eventually when I started making lawnmower money, cutting grass, I started buying comics, and that turned quickly into more than just casual buying. It turned into kind of an obsession. So I got into the game probably in the mid 80s, and I was there when the Frank Miller run on Daredevil began. I was there when he did Ronin for DC. Unfortunately, I had kind of checked out a little bit when Dark Knight hit the stands, but so I don't think I actually have any copies of Dark Knight other than trade paperbacks that came out after the fact. But the original Ronins, the original Daredevils, and at that point I had learned that these were these were commodities, that these were limited print runs that were going up in price, and I started buying them in triplicate even when I was 12 or 13 years old. And so around that time the direct market began to hit. So I went from buying comics on the newsstand at the grocery store or the bookstore to going to actual comic book shops. And there was a comic book shop just a few minutes away from where we lived, and I would cajole my father into driving me down there to buy the slate of comic books that I wanted. That eventually turned into a pull list, and I think by that point I probably had a part-time job. So I had more money to spend, and at this time there was no Wizard magazine yet, but there was I believe Comic Scene, which was published by the people that created Starlog magazine, of which I have quite a few of those. So they were keeping me informed as to what was going on in the comics market and who were the hot artists, and I knew what I liked. I knew what I liked, and I bought what I liked. And if that happened to be something that everybody else liked and was going up in value, or if I thought that it was probably going to be something that would appreciate in value, I was buying it. I was buying multiple copies of it. So that period of time only probably lasted 3 years, maybe, if that. And it resulted in nine long boxes of comics that I wrapped up quite tightly in cellophane and managed to drag around with me all these years as an adult, all the moves I've made, and so far. So one of the things this channel is going to be about is I haven't cracked open those long boxes since the 80s. So I have a vague idea of what's in them, but a lot of it I'm sure I forgot. Now I go into comic book shops now and I look at stuff on the wall and I'm like, oh, I've got that, oh, I've got that, oh, I remember buying that. So it's a funny story. When I had these long boxes, say like in the year 2000, I actually wanted to get rid of them like a fool. And I brought them to a comic book shop in the Atlanta metro area and asked them if they wanted to buy them. I had them loaded up in my car and I said, look, make me an offer. This is all 80s, a little bit of 70s, comics. There's some, there's some Frank Miller in there. There's Walt Simonson stuff, etc. And the dude behind the counter said to me, those comics aren't worth anything, man. They're not in demand now. What people want now is like Golden Age and 90s, and I was just like, oh, all right, well, okay, I'll take my comics and go home then. So there was a very long period of my life, excuse me, when I was not in the comics game, wasn't collecting them, and I regret that now. But now it makes it fun for me to go back and find the stuff that I want to get, that I missed out on. And that's part of what this channel is going to be about. It's also going to be about going through those long boxes and finding those surprises, which I can't wait to do and show those off. So more material than that right there is enough material to last a YouTube channel, almost daily videos for years, which is all good. Some of the things I'm currently into right now, I'm always looking at new stuff, always checking out new stuff. I like movies, like books, as I mentioned before, and comics. So the next video is going to be just sort of coming previews of some of the other stuff I'm currently looking at and finding it to be very entertaining. So I'm going to get into some of that on the next video. I hope you enjoy this journey. I know it's the first video, but if you want to like and subscribe and leave me some comments, I'd sure appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one.